actually saw a homeless guy today on the Upper East Side with a phone. And he was in a sleeping bag. It was like an REI sleeping bag. It was a really nice sleeping bag. They shouldn't have all this kind of stuff. So right now, the migrants are like the new victim flavor of the week. And if you're homeless and you're American, I'm sorry, go to the back of the line. But if you're a parent in Manhattan, I'd be even more angry because my child, that was a lost year during COVID. And so you're already behind. And now you're putting, like 5 migrants into your 4th grade classroom. They don't really speak English. Don't you think that's going to slow the lesson plan down?
Yeah.
I mean, you might get a better soccer team out of it. I'm sure the coaches are asking Abbott to send buses faster before the season starts.
Yeah, Jesse Waters is not a smart man, but he knows what racism is, and he knows that that's what his audience wants out of him. They don't expect him to be clever, witty, or deep, or thoughtful, or introspective, or any of that. They expect him to give them smug racism. And a little bit of misogyny, perhaps, and classism too. You saw all of that basically there. So there he is talking about how we're not supposed to care about the unhoused anymore because now the new flavor of victim is migrants. You'll notice, of course, if you've been paying attention to him, he never felt any obligation to care about the unhoused before. And by the way, Jesse Waters, if you're watching this, you could do so now if you want. If it grieves you, if it breaks your heart that people have moved on from caring about the unhoused, which I don't know what that's based on, then feel free. You can use the platform you have on the multiple shows that you host to continually bring up the plight of the unhoused. You can bring unhoused individuals on your show and talk about how they've been so abused and left behind. And you can bring advocates from the community to talk about what can be done at the local, state, or federal level to help out these people. You could do all of that, but it's a little bit more complicated than just using them as a convenient tool to attack migrants. And he said, he undercuts himself in a way that they would never notice, the audience or whatever, but he says they have to move to the back of the line. He had just gotten done saying that they have phones and they have sleeping bags, and how dare they? They shouldn't have any of that. If you're on the street, you better have literally nothing but the clothes on your back, or else what? You're not a good enough, pure enough victim for Jesse Waters? He wants you to be more destitute than that? And then he pretends, of course, Yaz, to care about like the public education system, but only insofar as migrant children are a problem and classes are being too slow. Giving them extra funding or whatever, paying the teachers well, making sure that the kids have enough time at school, enough to eat at school, all of that, that's not, we shouldn't do any of that. But if migrants are slowing things down, then he can employ a little bit of racism to get you fired up. There's no money coming, but there is a healthy dose of racism.
Yeah, and that was the point that got me, was that last point that you were talking about. It's like, it feels insulting, whatever point he was trying to make. It's insulting to American children and to the American school system. And it's the same American school system that they're already trying to dismantle and defund and privatize. And it's strangely pro-soccer, his comments, which at least for Fox viewers feels like it could be misconstrued as being anti-American because, soccer is not really what we do here in the States. So yeah, it's a really interesting hot take. I don't like it. And obviously it is very racist and it's very ableist, and it really talks down on people who are already down on their luck, which is kind of what they do. Don't help them, don't give them any money, don't give them any resources, don't give them any kind of help. But just think about how this is going to impact me, how this is going to victimize me or my children even further than they already are. And I can't imagine that Jesse Waters' children are the most dire children that are in need in this country right now.
Yeah, it's so on its face stupid. First of all, the interaction that he's talking about probably never happened. But even if it did, an REI sleeping bag costs what? I don't know, but $200 or something. A phone costs $500, $600. You know what rent costs in New York? Thousands of dollars. It is entirely economically feasible to be able to have a phone and have nowhere near enough money to pay for rent. That makes all the sense in the world, actually, if you actually think about it. If you're not like Jesse Waters, a multi-millionaire, turning your nose up at the unhoused that dare to be on the path between your limousine and the building where you go to opine a little bit to make your millions of dollars.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.